Hey, hi guys, welcome back. Nora, so great to see you, love. You're first in the house tonight. All right, so let's take a look. We're going to get into just kind of the topic of love. And I do want to start out and say, universe, you start us out here. Okay, the universe says there's a lot of broken hearts out there. Oh, that song, all the broken hearts in the world still beat. Let's not make it harder than it has to be. Boys chase girls, chase boys. Is that Jillian Michaels? No. Oh, darn it. Her name won't come to me. Great song, though. We have Moon. We have Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so we have the universe saying there is a feminine somewhere out there that does not have any idea that there is someone very heartbroken over her. Hi, everybody. So glad to see you tonight. And, they always say that's the greatest tragedy, is that we'll never know how much we are loved, because oftentimes messages of love do not get shared. Messages of heartbreak. We don't know how somebody feels about us. And the universe is saying, especially, this is a great full moon message. Well, I'm not saying it's a great message that somebody's hurting, but as far as it being timely, that moon is very full. She does not have a clue. She can't see it. She doesn't know. This is probably somebody in her past that still would give literally anything to be with her. I'm going to say it's quite a long time ago. You see how many dominoes have all been set and how her life has continued to move on. She's following the life path that she's on. And she's gone, like through the rainbow arch here. So we know that she's doing well, but she just has no idea. And the universe, why do you want this feminine to know that somebody is very heartbroken over her? The World card. Okay, because the universe is getting her prepared a little bit. Prepared for, sometimes life has a way of cycling through. In fact, there's not much new under the sun. You can read old history and go way back in human behavior, and you know what? We've done many of the same things again and again and again in history, and love and heartbreak and the range of, capacity for humans to experience emotions. That doesn't really change, and we all share the same range. So it's not maybe that big of a surprise that something could be re-entering her life. We have, this is Year of the Serpent. We have the serpent coming back full circle. I'm thinking that I'm sorry, but she may need to prepare, because if there's somebody this brokenhearted over her, even if they have faded from her memory because she's been very, very busy. By the way, I'm sorry. I know my hair is a matted net, a rat's nest right now. I was outside. But even though I got tangled up in bushes and a pear tree, so if you wonder, I was stuck in a pear tree. But oh, AC, thank you, sweetheart. Oh my gosh. AC just gifted 10 memberships. If your name just turned green, that is courtesy of AC. Wendy E., Perfectly Imperfect Podcast, Hot Little Mexican, Janet Romo, Wild One, Samira, Bogdanka, Love Me Some Empathy, Eduardo Jimenez, and Cherie. You've all just been gifted a membership by AC. Thank you, Angel. Oh my God, you are so generous. This is not even the first time today that AC has been gifting memberships. You're so incredibly generous, my love. If your name just turned green, just know as a member, you now have access to everything in the members playlist. You can click on that and you can see every Monday you get a chance to win for next Monday. So don't miss out on that if you just became a member, okay? Sorry to bust in, but I want to say that while people are here and present, so I get the message out to you. Thank you again, AC. If the universe is warning her, not warning, but maybe giving this little message like, darling, you have no idea. You got no idea. You've been working hard. You've been slowly moving forward on your life path. And she's doing a darn good job. She's a hard worker, right? And she's been enjoying her life. But the universe is like, please just know some things come around. And anybody who's ever been really sad about something, sadness is not something that we can bear to carry. It prompts us, like all discomfort does, it prompts us to go ahead and take a positive action in our life to alleviate the hurt and the pain. In this case, It may be that this person who has either held in a lot of emotions or has wanted to tell her how they feel for a long time, they are coming forward to do exactly that. We do have this Knight of Cups. And I do feel like this is, I asked, all right, universe, what's the message about love? And it's like, well, the message is a heads up for our feminine that she does not realize that there is somebody really missing her, and that somebody is most likely showing back up in her life. And the hand of the divine is obviously here, because this is like little Cupid with the little wings on. Universe, what is the message just to her? Queen of Cups. You know what? The universe is like, she's ready for this. That's why I'm just giving her the little gentle heads up that it's coming. We've got the Queen of Cups as a very loving individual, somebody who I think, let me put it this way. Wouldn't it be nice if we all treated each other as nicely as we treat like kittens and children? And, if somebody approaches us, we don't know what they approach us for at first. Wouldn't it be lovely if we were, patient and attentive and listened? And, who's going to be hostile to a child? Nobody. Who's going to be hostile toward a kitten? Nobody. And it just kind of says she has this great capacity for love. And I think she's in a really good energetic space. She sits in the amethyst crystal couch here, and she's pregnant. So she's like ready to express love, ready to be, when we're in a really good mood and we've been working through things in life and we like where we're at, it gives us a capacity to perhaps be much more generous with our time and our energy. And I just feel like the universe is saying, when this person approaches you, be your beautiful self. Handle them with care. Handle them with, like I said, ideally, if we could always approach everybody like at one point in time they were only 5 years old, and let me connect with them at the 5-year-old level instead of even seeing them as an adult, because we still get hurt just like we're little kids. We if somebody's approaching you, especially if it's been a long time, it just says handle them with care. Now, I mean, maybe she's going to be like, oh, no, they were a villain. I hate that MF. I mean, she might. And I'm not saying to be nice to people that, abuse us or anything. Like, hell no, you keep up boundaries and don't let those people near you again. I get that. But that's not what this story is about, right? We have obviously some kind of a very wounded soul who's specifically been wounded because they actually have a lot of love for her and she hasn't known it. So we don't have like this unsavory villain coming back in this story, but it could be, she could be a little bit surprised, and the universe is like, just handle them with care, be gentle with them. There's something about like, because it could be coming in fairly rattled. They could be coming in, maybe they're not just brokenhearted over her. Maybe they've had all kinds of upheaval in their life. Maybe they've had a loss. Maybe they're, limping back into her, like sometimes life really rolls us and everything goes wrong at once. And it's just a little too much to bear all at once. And so this could be somebody coming in toward her who needs compassion, but they're also coming toward her, I think, with love. Well, obviously with love. 8 of Pentacles. This is, the universe keeps saying to her, like, give them a chance to talk, hear the full dialogue, give them a cup of juice, maybe some snackies, some cookies, sit down and have a nice, comfortable conversation with whomever this person is. Let them kind of explain what's been going on, because I think that they're going to gain more confidence as a conversation goes on, as they start working through what they need to say. Expecting somebody to arrive, say exactly the right thing, make it succinct, make it so that it shows depth of everything going on, like that's just not really possible. I mean, gosh, I'm 9 minutes into this story and I'm still trying to just describe how is a character going to try to approach. It's hard to find the right language. So I think there's like an element of patience, listen closely, let them like unfurl what it is that they need to say, because it might take them a little while to work to get those words out to express themselves. Can I ask this, universe, why is she being asked to do this? And of course, she does not have to say yes, right? Every character gets to say no. Every character gets to not have something that they don't want, right? We all are allowed to have our boundaries and no judgment on that. But But I'm just wondering, why is the universe acting like, oh, this person's going to come forward and, handle them with care and all this? Two of Pentacles in the reverse. It's actually the universe is just saying, because this is something that she's wanted. This isn't something she's going to be on the fence about. She probably would immediately operate this way anyhow. But the universe says, well, this is something that she's wanted. This isn't a situation where she's like, we got the Tower. It's also, there could be some real, like, they could have gone through some devastating loss. But I look at the Tower as a sense of freedom. I look at it as walls come down and now we can actually just really talk. And if she's in this beautiful energy, which is what it looks like, she doesn't have walls that are sky high. She already knows she can protect herself if she needs to. She's worked her way through her life and, accomplished things and feeling pretty empowered. And she's sitting here as this very calm, wonderful queen. I kind of think that she doesn't have high walls up because she doesn't need them. This is very empowered feminine. If there's one thing that she doesn't like, she will have no problem bringing those walls down. But she doesn't sit there and feel like, ooh, what are you doing? Why are you here? I don't see any of the, let me just put it this way. She's not afraid to talk to somebody. Who are they to her? I mean, we can see that they've been obviously through the meat grinder. Judgment, Four of Pentacles. Okay, something is biting my arm. They are somebody who obviously wants a do-over. They obviously want to reconcile. They have held on to this as maybe their Obi-Wan, you're my only hope, Obi-Wan Kenobi. She maybe has been that person that has been, like if not their touchstone, the one, like, maybe if they've been through some really tough stuff lately, the thought of her has been a really wonderful thing to like grasp a hold of. I thought there must be something more to this, because we never get messages where the universe is like, hey, somebody's coming in and handle them with care. They could be fragile. They could have gone through something really traumatizing and they think the world of you and they love you and they miss you, regardless of whatever has come before. If this person wasn't some heinous villain, handle them with care, because they're obviously, she has meant more to them, especially in some dark moments of their life. Like she's been their touchstone, their thing that, but maybe I still have this glimmer of hope that either life can get better or something can get better. I can understand how it's like, don't go dashing somebody's hopes. The World card again. The hope here is that there are brighter days ahead. The hope is to have a new beginning with her. But it feels like a real restart in life. She represents a lot to them, a lot about, the possibility to improve circumstances and life and love, and to have do-overs in life and to get second chances. Let me just get into this a little and say, what was the scenario between them and her in the past? Let's go to this deck. What was the scenario here? We have got the Hermit, and it is sideways. Well, they've been alone long before they met her. I'm wondering if this person has not been in a very lonely space, maybe most of their life. Four of Pentacles in the reverse, 10 of Wands upright. I don't know if she made them feel like seen or normal, or if this person has felt very alone. I'm thinking that she gave them, again, I go back to this card and I say, if we treat people like they're 5, we're very attentive to kids. We listen patiently and we ask them, oh, what are you doing today? And, kids tell us some off the wall thing and we don't quite understand what they're talking about, but we go, is that fun? Do you like that? Because we're still trying to piece together what the heck they just said to us. And, but we listen and we inquire and we make sure that they're safe. And, there's just, I feel like if we granted other adult humans maybe the same level of like interest and care, that would go a long way. And I'm thinking she by nature maybe operates this way. This is not to belittle somebody to be like, oh, I'm just going to look at them like they're 5. I don't mean it like that. I'm saying we're non-confrontational with little children, right? We don't yell at them. We don't, I'm having a bad day. So kid, shut up. I don't want to hear what you got to say. That's just not usually the way we approach. I mean, yes, of course, my mom yelled at us a lot as kids. We did a lot of, we're very loud people. We yell to this day. But I'm saying you don't normally like, you can be rude to somebody, who's like parking their car crooked and taking up two spaces, and you're like, you jackass. But we don't usually like yell at a kid on their bike, some strange kid who's just, going down the street. We're nicer to kids, is what I'm getting at. This feels like she maybe has made them feel seen. Maybe she does naturally treat people like people, like they matter, like you're actually interested in who they are and getting to know them and being patient and actually asking questions. And I'm wondering if this is a person who felt very alone a lot of their life. This says they might have opened up more to her than anybody else. And maybe this is why she is their Obi-Wan Kenobi, because there is this energy of like, I can finally lay down that kind of a really big burden. Maybe I can just, like let go of some of the tension, because I've met one person who actually saw me and noticed me. And for a little while, I think that maybe that was like the bright spot in a lot of their life. Even if she wasn't around them for very much, they might have felt more seen and more cared about, and like life was going to be good, or there was hope for something positive, or like they felt normalized instead of like an outsider when they were around her because the way she treated them. Definitely, we have to double down on that message, because this is the Queen of Cups again. It's like, yeah, she actually really was good to me. She made me feel like a person. Okay, that is amazing. That is what a beautiful exchange she had with them. I don't know if she knows she made that much of an impact. Does she? Do you know that you made that kind of an impact on them? Ace of Wands, she was very attracted to them, very passionate about them. They may have been somebody that she felt very like inspired by or creative. I feel like being around them brought up like a really great trait in her as well, but she was very passionate about them. So can I just ask what happened with the two of them then? Did they part ways? King of Cups, he fell in love with her. Okay. He wanted to be with her, a king and a queen of cups. Page of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. I'm not sure I get it. Hang on. What am I missing here? Six of Wands in the reverse, Lovers upright. If he wanted to be with her, King and Queen of Cups, but then there's some kind of little conversation. Look, this is somebody whose complete confidence is just demolished, particularly their confidence about whether or not they could be loved. I don't know if something happened where he, rehashed an old memory, or if an ex or somebody reached out and it was like, oh my God, it just totally destroyed my confidence. Because this says there's something here about maybe, as they started to think, oh my God, this beautiful person is interested in me too. I want to be their King of Cups to the Queen of Cups. This is going to be amazing. And then it's like this weird old dialogue, because this is like a little teeny tiny message. And I'm thinking that it's the words of an ex who maybe was always sought after by a lot of other people, comes flitting back in their mind. And those words were, good luck. You're not going to be able to hold on to me. I got so many other people that want me. I can choose anybody. I mean, it kind of feels like it was just this huge deflating, like little, this is like the negative thing that can pop into our head sometimes. The pages are usually messengers, but it almost feels like he kept in the subconscious, right? We have the moon here. He has this little memory bank of things that can deflate him, as probably we all do if we think too much about, past fumbles and falls and, the time that we had toilet paper stuck to the back of our shoe in 5th grade or whatever. We all have those moments where it's like, oh, I can still flush thinking about that, when really it shouldn't matter. But still, this, I think that he definitely like rattled himself. And I think it's because he's like, oh my God, this person makes me feel whole. They make me feel like they see me. They make me feel like we could really be something. And then it's like, how stupid am I? I mean, of course, of course, I mean, she could be with anybody. Why be with me? I mean, that's what my ex told me. I remember that. And then it's like the happiness balloon just deflates and it's kicking around on the ground. So I'm thinking that probably this had great potential and then it just got torn down, you know. This confidence got torn down. Justice card sideways. All I can say is for somebody to have like this pre-programmed idea in their mind, and let's not forget, this already says this was somebody who it was a big deal for them to come out of their shell to this Queen of Cups in the first place. It was a very big deal. This is somebody who's maybe decided that they live a life of, you know, solitude and that's just how it's going to be. And then instead they meet her and it's like, I got a taste of what it could be like to be with a person who seems like they care about me, they see me, and then that negative thought process pops in their head and just demolishes the confidence in this connection. I'm thinking that this person, even though we don't really see all the ins and outs of whatever happened to them, I'm thinking that they were treated horrendously by somebody, and probably more than just an ex. We don't get the justice card for no reason. This is somebody who's been torn down again and again. This is somebody who's been, you know, mind gamed. This is somebody who they can really get it in their head that they're not enough because that's what they've been told. So obviously now I want to like protect this character. But I do love the fact that she's somebody they didn't have to protect themselves from. She was a bright spot. She's always remained a bright spot, even if this became kind of like a self-sabotaged connection at one point. You notice that that was actually more painful for them to be like, oh, I'm sure this won't even work. I don't know if they walked away or if the whole thing just kind of like faded out or what, but they were convinced. I'm so deflated. I'm guessing that they probably faded out on this one. And yet that was really painful too. I found somebody, they treated me so different. Sometimes we have to have, you know, like perspective. We have to get away from a situation to be able to think back and be like, I'm the one who ran. Why did I do that? They treated me really nice. I really wanted to be with them. And then I got scared because of something some old monster told me. And then I let it freak me out. And then I walked away from the person that I really wanted to be with, who was good to me and treated me normal. So why did I do that? I think that I caused my own self some grief. And that makes sense why the universe is like, darling, you got Queen of Cups. You have no idea how much somebody has been devastated over you, even if it was their actions that ended the connection. We're kind of seeing how that sabotage played out. And we're also seeing that it's probably going to take them a ton of courage to reapproach her. And maybe that's why the universe is like, handle with care. Just handle with care. Because this is already somebody who's like, it's taken a lot of courage for them to come toward her. Now, this is not to say, well, what about her? Didn't she just get walked out on? Or, you know, of course she deserves consideration also. But what we do see is that her life seems to have continued to be really good. She's obviously in a, you know, as a Queen of Cups, this is somebody who has good personal self-value. This is somebody who doesn't have a clue that this other person has been brokenhearted over her. She's made huge strides in her life. So between the two of them, she's definitely in the power position. And I think it goes without saying that whether it's fair or not, if you're bigger than somebody else, you're going to reach up and help grab those paper towels off the top shelf for them at the grocery store, right? No, it's not your job. Nobody made you the resident giant. I'm talking about myself right now. I'm the resident giant in most stores. Of course, I'm going to get stuff down for people. I'm going to do it when they don't ask. I'm going to walk up to little old ladies and, hey, do you need me to grab that for you? You know, because it's kind of my role. I'm 6 feet. I'm supposed to do that for people. It's just how it is. I accept that role in life. You know, that we have things that we just roll with it. You know, whoever's in the power position or whoever's taller or whoever is, you know, if you're the stronger one in a situation, you protect the weaker person. That's just what your role is. It's just normal human behavior. You got a job to do. Just shut up and do it. And I feel like that's why this isn't really about, well, she shouldn't have to. They should have to come in and crawl, explain all this. You know, she has a right to be mad. She does, but she's in such a much healthier space and her life has been better that she's actually in the power position. So she can maybe, even though it's not supposed to be her burden, she can afford to be more gracious because, in fact, she is in a happier space, is what it says. And so, just like I say, the taller person has to get the paper towels down. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm just saying I don't think it's going to be much skin off her nose to be able to do that for them, to be gracious. And I think she would be anyway. We have the Hierophant. She may be having a sensation because this is somebody who's very spiritual. She could be very shamanic. She could be somebody who's, like particularly good with animals, living creatures. She may be particularly right now in her life. I think everybody has the capacity to be much more like intuitive and gentle. But, if we look at some belief systems like, say, Buddhism, attaining that spiritual enlightenment is something that you strive for, to have that sense of peace, and I think, I'm not saying she's Buddhist or anything else, but I would say shamanism more so is represented to me on this card than anything. But my point is, she seems pretty enlightened. She seems pretty like able to give love and give caring to others, partially because one of the things that makes her so strong is her capacity to love, her capacity to not take things so personal, her capacity to care without like over giving to the point where she's, demolishing her own stores. But there's this like deep understanding. And I think she already knows that maybe at this phase in her life, she has reached this enlightenment, and maybe she's recognizing she's quite helpful to others right now. She may be understanding this is like a chapter of her life. She's able to do this. She's able to give calm and peace and understanding to people in a way that we're not always able to do it, but we reach a place sometimes where we get there, I feel like that's what we're describing. Oh my God. AC, did you just gift more memberships? Oh my God, you angel. Thank you so much. You guys, if your name just turned green, that is, again, courtesy of AC. I think this is like 30, 35 memberships today. So Bridget Gore, Raphael, Pri, Shariza Ali, Sissy, Lucia Williams, MC, Supernova, Rossi, Monique B. You guys are all members now, courtesy of AC. Forgive me if I missed anybody's name in there. But just note if your name just became green, okay? That means now you can tune in on Monday. Don't miss your chance to enter to win. I pick a winner. You can also suggest a topic, and that's in the members corner. So just go to the playlist called members, and you can access all that. Thank you again, AC. You're so kind. Oh my gosh, you're so generous. To see this energy coming off of her, though, this is like somebody whose heart is so big right now. This is somebody who's like generosity. This is like AC right now. Just in such an incredible capacity to be so like understanding with others. And I think the universe is saying, I know she's got that. And so I want to give her the heads up that somebody's coming toward her, somebody that she may have loved this person so much once upon a time. We know she was passionate about them, but this could be the right time for the two of them to be together. This could be the person she still wants to marry, has wanted to marry. And the universe is like, just be in that beautiful, loving, gentle space. Give to that person the consideration that you'd like to give, because it is like, it's something that you can share with them, and you already know it. You've already got this going on. I feel like it's maybe she's in the zone. She's in the like that really beautiful space right now, and I think she's going to be able to do that no problem. I think it's kind of nice that the universe is giving her a heads up. Oh my God, 11D8, thank you. You are so sweet. 11D8, you angel. Thank you, babe. You guys are so nice. We have got the Temperance. All these cards look so peaceful. All these cards look so full of generosity. So like we keep seeing her like seated, kind of cross-legged, seated, cross-legged, seated, cross-legged. That could be her favorite pose if she sits on the floor or something, watches TV, or she likes to stretch. She's in like yoga clothes here. This could be somebody who does practice like mindfulness, meditation. But I'm thinking that right now, in particular, She's reached a new level. I'm thinking that she could, like, if she's in mindfulness practices, she may really be able to like set her intentions or like project energy outward from herself. Like she could be somebody, they say that there's the 7 chakras that we're all so familiar with, and those 7 chakras didn't actually get associated with the Roy G. Biv, the colors of the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, indigo. We didn't get those, and violet. We didn't get those associated until like the 70s, right? But if you read more about the chakras and the auric fields, many of the yogis say, oh, it's not just 7. And depending on what source you cite, some say there's like over 108. They extend outward beyond the body from like, starting at the internal, the 7 that we're familiar with. But then other people say, no, the auric field goes, way outward, and there's way more layers of what you think there are. And I'm kind of thinking that I should probably release a video that is all about that I did in the members corner so everybody can watch it. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll try to upload it even on this channel so we can share that, because it was interesting. And I don't have it all at the tip of my mind because I did some research for it first. Empress Unicorn, thank you. You angel, thank you so much. So generous. But I'm feeling like I should definitely release that video. I will try to do that tonight. It will just take a little while for it to download and upload. But it feels to me like this is somebody who's really attuned in like a very special way. A very like that auric field is something that is like she's pushing her energy into like this beautiful shining ball of light. She maybe does a lot of visualizations. They say a really great way to like remove stress is to imagine like encapsulating all of it, everything that we've got, and imagine putting all the negative stuff and even like scooping up all the negativity that is in our surroundings, or even, the energy that's being like, kind of emitted from other human beings, and imagine scooping it up on purpose into like one of those big, huge like bubbles, the gigantic, bubble things. And then imagine like letting it lift up and out into outer space and getting it beyond Earth's atmosphere so that it's no longer just even here at all. And I don't know why this just feels like there's such a, like it actually works for her. This is a healer. And I think she's an energy healer, whether or not she knows it. She's sitting on a crystal. She is part of that crystal energy. So I'm thinking she's pretty powerful. Come see you, sweetheart. Thank you so much, love. Thank you. But if she doesn't think she can do this, I would say that is incorrect. I think maybe this is like trance style, or maybe she thinks she's taking a nap when in fact she's laying there just with her eyes closed and she's, doing some of this visualization. All I can say is it's working. It's healing things. It's opening doors for positivity. It's making somebody feel safe enough to approach her that has been misunderstood, felt like they were alone, felt heartbroken, and they've got the courage now to come toward her. I feel like she's definitely working in tandem with the divine. Other divine souls are being, like nudged to do the thing that they really would like to do, which is to heal pain. And her role is to like open those doorways, open those corridors, welcome things in, take away some hurt and pain, kind of like soothe things. This feels like she is a walking aloe vera plant. That's what this feels like to me. And I just love it. She could have roots, like she could be multicultural. This could go back to Native American. This could go to like maybe Taiwanese, maybe she could be anything in this. She has the appearance of maybe somewhere in an Asian culture. Here, it could be literally anywhere on Earth, but she may be multicultural as well. Here we have a very blonde, maybe like Nordic, German, we've got dark hair, blonde hair. It doesn't matter. When you're dealing with energy flow, it doesn't matter. It never really matters where you hail from, only that you're tapping into that universal energy flow. But I will still say maybe she's had multiple past lives, but I think she is tuned in this lifetime. This is a very powerful feminine. Like, this is maybe exactly the energy that is needed right now, like on Earth as a whole. But also, like, it's so genuine, and it's so much more powerful than fear. It's so much more powerful. It's actually like she's the sponge that can absorb it, but instead of putting it into herself, she lifts it and gets rid of it. Kind of an amazing character. Sandy, you sweetheart, thank you so much. You are so cute. Thank you so much. Wet Lobo, cilantro. I love cilantro. Sandy, thank you, Angel. You guys stick around if you can. We're going to do some card pulls for people tonight, okay? We got to celebrate this full moon, right? We've got the Ace of Wands. And here she is in the wedding dress. And she knows. She's looking over that shoulder like, I know. I've been playing this role lately that I've been focusing on centering my energy. I've been focusing on smoothing the energy out external to me, and a triple dose of it. She's getting really proficient at this. She's aware that it's changing things in her timeline and her pathway in the world around her. This is a timeline jumper. She's able to like positively impact outcomes because of this level of like high vibration. You know, they say that like I'll say the word om, but it's more like, you know, a prolonged sound, you know, like it's many cultures thought that using sound produced like a vibration, and that divine vibration could be used to heal. And in fact, we do have like sound healing, not just sound baths, but like in physical therapy, there are devices that are used to help heal tendons that actually employ the use of like a high vibrating crystal that creates a frequency and a sound that you can't quite hear. And it's known to be very effective at healing, especially like hand injuries where there's lots of tendons. And I'm just thinking that she's like one of those devices. she's like a sound crystal. But she is making positive change here. She is definitely going to welcome this person in. She wears white a lot, by the way. Well, wouldn't you know it? Of course we'd get a Two of Cups. Of course we would. That's exactly what this sounds like. She has helped to, I'll just say, welcome in her Two of Cups. This is not a story full of like judgment and wrath, or, you know, how come you didn't do this, or how come you couldn't be ready, or why'd you sabotage? This is like, no, it's all good, baby. You did what you had to. I'm just glad you're home. I'm just glad you're home. This is so beautiful. I don't know that I've ever had a storyline that looks so so complete. Like, she did everything right. They did everything right as far as like really feeling the feels that they had, following their intuition, working with the flow of the divine, doing what they needed to that was, you know, not triggered by fears or anger or anything like that. At least not anymore. They had a lot of fears at one point in time and a lot of hurt. But all of this is like, let's leave that behind and let's get into the better chapter of life. And that's where they're at. So very, very, very beautiful. Queen of Cups in the reverse. Finally, it's not just in her head, right? She's not just envisioning it. It's landing in her lap. She's not imagining dolphins swimming above her. She's not envisioning happiness. By the way, dolphins are one of the few animals on Earth, aside from us, that they do mate for pleasure and not just procreation. So when we look at that, we can see that she's in... I wouldn't normally read a Queen of Cups in the reverse as a positive, but remember, she's come out as a Queen of Cups a couple times now. And this was her being in that meditative state. She meditated that partner, that lover, right back into her life just by opening up the doors and saying, you know what, I definitely can welcome that in. I don't think she got hooked up on who it had to be, because there's a lot of dolphins out there, but I think she just kind of has been trying to send out good vibrations, like as a whole, maybe to everyone. But it definitely worked to her advantage too, because somebody who loves her dearly is coming back into her world. I don't even see that there's any complications. I think these two are together, and I think that these two are getting married. She's been in white the whole time. You know, she's in a wedding dress here. She's all in her yoga white here. Where's the Ace of Wands. She's in her wedding dress on the seashore. It just kind of looks like she's in kind of like a little white half top and a white button up here. Something about her is definitely very pure. Okay, so I know she's around amethyst here, but I'm thinking that the quartz crystal is also possibly something that she either keeps around her or is representational of her in some capacity, just because of all of that, like white that I'm seeing. All right, so let me put these cards back in their respective decks and say thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, everybody. So in honor of this full moon, and just because I think that we need to party a little bit, any chance we get to do something positive, I always think we should always take that opportunity. So let's go for it. First off, let me go ahead and say, if I may, if you will give me permission, AC, I want to pull a card for you, my love. First and foremost, thank you over and over and over again that you've been so generous today. So amazing, hun, as always. As always. Let me scroll through here. I want to get a chance to first thank everybody. 11D8, if I may pull one for you as well. Empress Unicorn, if I may pull one for you, sweetheart. I just want a chance to say thank you. I know you guys are just gifting, but I would just like to be able to say thank you to you as well, if you don't mind. Sandy and Calm Sea. You guys are so wonderful. Thank you, everybody. I'm just scrolling. Sorry, as I talk, then the chat goes on and then I don't get to see it until I scroll back down. Thank you guys so much for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Okay, good. Awesome. Let me go ahead and pull cards for those names I just mentioned, and then I'll just go at random all over the place, okay? But hang on just a second. I want a chance to say thank you to AC. We're going to start with you, love. I think that I really want to go with this. What's the message for this full moon? What is the message for this strawberry moon? Ace of Wands, we're turning over a page. It's a new page in a book. It's a book of love. It's a book of inspiration, a book of passion. She is in green, which is at green polka dots, no less. Green is a color of profound healing, profound growth, nurturing, wealth, healing. And anytime she's in the middle of a book and she's like, oh, what's the next chapter going to look like? She's in control of this. You see the winds of change are picking up her hair in this. And I don't think she would have expected this because she looks a little surprised, but there's a gigantic blossoming peony that just popped out of the center of this book. During this full moon, I feel like something has shifted. The winds of change have changed in her direction, and it's blowing possibly new love into her world, but certainly new inspiration, passion, and new opportunity to build something different in her life, to invite new characters into her world, just to go ahead and roll with whatever it is that she would like to have happen next. Very nice. 11D8, you are next, sweetheart. Here we go. Thank you again, you guys. We've got the World card in the reverse. Cycles that are not over because transformation is still ongoing. So during this full moon, we've got a character who's got a lot to look forward to on one hand, but there's definitely a transformative energy taking place, but a process has to be completed. And when butterflies are going through their transformation, there is a time when they're in their little chrysalis where the structure of the caterpillar is gone and it becomes this goo, and the goo has a particular name to it, but this goo is really remarkable because talk about something that can then reform, so that when we think about something that can go from a solid structure into goo like primordial slime and then become a full-blown gorgeous, and butterflies are really remarkably created, like the blue butterflies, the only reason they're blue is because they have serrated edges in their wings that make the light reflect that way. It's not because they're blue pigmented. So the structure, and the only reason I'm boring you with these details is because I'm really fascinated by that. And I think the structure of a butterfly, when we think about going from caterpillar to goo and then becoming this, Talk about remarkable. So if there's a cycle that is still being worked through, maybe our character is in a bit of the goo phase during this full moon, which means they are structuring into the most beautiful, most elegant, most beautifully designed and brilliant designed creature that they will yet become. This could be their life is feeling a little, uncertain, but it's because it's supposed to, because things are getting like reformulated. There's new blueprints being designed. Really, really exciting time is what that says to me. That's awesome. 11-8, I love that one. NH, you angel, thank you so much, NH. You'll be right after Sandy, okay? Empress Unicorn, you're next, love. I really dig this deck, so we're going to go this one. All right, what's the message for the full moon? Judgment. Scorpio energy. This is a time, and I love that she's on the stage and she is commanding the audience. I just love the fact that this is a character who is like calling in the powers of Grayskull. This is like a He-Man, She-Ra kind of vibe to me on this. Somebody who is literally taking charge of the things that they want in their life, the things that they want to welcome in, the things that they want to welcome back, the things that they want to release. Full moons are great for releasing, and she is standing up and testifying. She's like, I let this go. I welcome in something else. I'm almost feeling like this is somebody, I'm picturing her like dancing, like spinning around, dancing, like head tilted back, arms up, like out in the rain, listening to her favorite song, or, doing some kind of just like ecstatic dance move. Judgment card is welcoming things in that we really do want by releasing the things that are unnecessary. It is I reconcile with the things that I cannot change. I welcome in the things that are in my greatest and highest good, and I am at peace with all of it. This is surrendering. This is giving away anything that she does not need to carry. Anything that has hurt her, she does not need to carry. She can actually like say, this is not mine to have to bear the burden of anymore. So I kind of feel like this full moon is going to be very cathartic for this character, but it also could allow her to get really streamlined and really certain about what she does want in her life, what she would be willing to welcome back in, and then be like, all right, universe, if it be your will, I will receive what is in my greatest and highest good. Certain things I could say yes, if they want to come back, I would take them back. But if they don't, I'll assume it's because that wasn't to my greatest and highest good. And it's just this wonderful sense of peace on that. Oh, I love it. Column C, here we go, my love. What's our full moon message? Emperor. Ooh, I really love this Emperor. I love the seriousness that he looks at us with in this card. I love this is taking charge. This is somebody that is, first off, if it's a man, it's a good man. Ooh, what a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty fine man. I love that song. This Salt and Pepper, right? That could be the song for him, or this could be a person walking into her life, or this could just be in general organization and structure that starts to come back into our character's world. This could be them stepping into that energy, but he's staring at us. So I'm feeling like she's about to either like meet somebody that is like, wow, this person is amazing. Sometimes we get bummed out and we're like, everybody's just kind of like not trustworthy, whatever. And then we meet people and we go, oh my God, I'm blown away by the intellect. I'm blown away by just, I know I have met people in my life where I'm like, how did they get so smart? How did somebody get that intelligent? Like, I know I'm not playing with the same deck of cards that they got up there. They're freaking amazing. There are people that you're just in awe of, or you realize that you see them do something and you're just like, I didn't know that people were that trustworthy or that good. And I just feel like during this full moon, if our character is really open and saying like, hey, maybe I need to meet a great person, an inspiring person, a hero, I feel like that is so imminent that is coming in for a character. Somebody that they can rely on, somebody that on this Emperor card, it says mature man, stable, reliable, structured, disciplined, provider, protector. That's a pretty beautiful, that's the full package deal. But I feel like we have to first ask for that and then be willing to like celebrate it once we meet it. I don't know. This is Father's Day is coming up. That looks like a really great divine masculine. I could see them being somebody that is like very respectable. And I feel like if that's what our character is calling in, it doesn't seem like it's very far down the road. That's really beautiful. Sandy, let's get to you next, sweetheart. What is the message for the full moon. We have got the Five of Swords. Five is a number of change. I feel like there's this awareness that, look, if somebody is standing there and they're energetically like hostile, it boils down to fear. You don't point your little sword at somebody, your invisible sword, and keep them away from you unless you're scared. Seeing somebody's anger for what it actually is, you're scared. That's why you're staying away, or that's why you're hostile. It's like, oh my God, that totally changes the way I see them. So I feel like this is a perspective change. I think our character during this full moon is having like this whoa eureka moment, or like epiphany moment, where they're recognizing someone that they dealt with, possibly a masculine. This could be a son, this could be an ex, this could be a lover. Recognizing that if they pull away, it is not to be, they're not pissed, they're not pushing somebody away to be disrespectful. They're scared. Maybe they're scared of like breaking down. Maybe they're scared of being vulnerable. Maybe they're scared to reveal their own feelings. Maybe they're scared of getting hurt. There's so many things that people who are scared, like animals are a great example. If animals are scared or threatened, they go into like full on scary attack mode. Like Aries is this calm, sweet baby who kisses, my cheeks and licks my ear and stuff. And then if he has to protect that house from the mailman, apparently he has got to go into full blown Hulk mode. And it's so crazy. I mean, granted, he's kind of in protector mode at that point, but if it were like, animals change their behavior also when they feel like they got to protect. And I'm just feeling like that's what our character is recognizing. Somebody went into I'm scared mode. And when we can look at somebody and realize it's their fear that we're seeing, not their hostility, who does that ever change the chessboard, right? All of a sudden we go, oh my God, I have all the power here. I have the upper hand here. They're feeling powerless, hence the fear, hence the lash out. Okay, total different way that I'm going to approach them now. I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to get hurt. I'm actually going to go ahead and approach them with maybe a little bit more of like a disarming, like, I am not here to hurt you kind of attitude. It's just kind of really nice to look at things just a little bit, like it takes a lot of the sting out is what it says to me. All right. Landy 8, you cutie pie. Thank you. The pupil hemolymph. Thank you so much. Yes, you are so cute. I love it. All right. And H, you're next, honey. Let me go ahead and grab this deck, the Carnival deck. Six of Swords. This full moon says, oh, I love this card so much. I want to be on that little boat with them. They got this little motorboat and they are out there in these crystal clear waters. Six of Swords is about healing things. Now is a time where two people could really heal things. This could be with anybody. We could heal rifts with our neighbors. We could heal rifts with family members, children to parents, lovers, any dimension of characters, because the full moon, we're all going to be impacted by it. But this is saying for this character and the people in their like sphere, it's a time to move on from conflict. It's an opportunity to actually like, I think because hearts are kind of open right now during this full moon, probably because it's a strawberry moon. But it's like everybody wants calm. Everybody wants relief of tension. Everybody actually wants to heal things. And all it takes is somebody to be like, hey, let's do something wonderful together. Sometimes all it takes, like I'm famous for fighting with my little brother. We're only 2 years apart. And to this day, I mean, we fight like tigers. I fight with my brother probably 3 times a week. However many times I talk to him, 50% of that is a fight. But it's not really a fight exactly. But so we can get pretty heated sometimes. And then it's a little bit awkward when we start talking again, and then we're fine in 5 minutes. But sometimes we'll argue with the people we really get along well with, but we are ferocious in our different opinions, or the same opinion but for a mildly different reason. That's the majority of our arguments, is we agree but for different reasons, and that's where we just have to split hairs all day. But I feel like this is a card where it's like, yeah, but it's still okay. This isn't enough to get completely tangled up on. This full moon says it's a great time to heal rifts. It's a great time to connect to people, especially people that we do care about. A lot of things can be let go because the emotions and the hearts are open in the same way at this moment in time. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab, that's so awesome, Sandy. Thank you. I'm going to grab just one or two more. Aries is here. So I'm going to have to disappear here in just a second, but I'm so delighted you guys are here. Rossi, you angel, let me grab you one. Tammy and Rossi, let me get to both of you, and then I'm going to have to disappear because the boy is here. Yes, my baby. Just a second. Can you wait 1 second for Mama? All right, here we go. Rossi, we have Hanged Man, Piscean energy. There's a lot of messages coming in for this because during this full moon, we have got the entire gaggle of messengers that are trying to tell somebody, hey, we're looking out for you. Little kitty cat, you're up here in the tree and you could slip and fall. We're gonna protect you. We're gonna help you out. If it feels like a character has been put on the sidelines or is like, how come nothing's changing? How come this isn't what I wanted yet? Why am I kept waiting for any kind of payout or any kind of, like happiness that I want? This says the guides are trying to remind our character, sweetheart, it's just that we're protecting you at the moment. We're keeping you right where you need to be, so you don't get tangled up in some kind of a mess. And so during this full moon, if our character is able to like contemplate, okay, what things haven't been moving forward, and then let me ask myself, how would it might be a benefit for me that things haven't been moving forward? I think our character is going to be like, oh, wait a second, I might be being protected. If things had gone the way I wanted, maybe it wouldn't have worked out so great. Do you want to come up and say hi real quick? Come here. Yeah. Oh, walk forward. There. Okay. As you can see, Aries is here. So I do have to disappear, but I'm still going to get just one for Tammy, and then I'll disappear on you guys. Let me go. Let's go this deck. All right. Just a second, okay, Aries? We got to do this one for Tammy. Tammy, we got two cards. We get the Five of Swords and we have the Fool. This is like, it's a great time to walk away from conflict or dramas. It's a great time to, sometimes conflict and drama is enough for us to say, I think I'm going to take my business elsewhere. I think I'm going to go take my dog on a walk. I think I'm going to walk it off instead of engage in any more hostility at the moment. And I kind of feel like using that method, especially during this full moon, is probably like our character knows if things get a little tense, let's take a break. Let's take a break from the conversation. Let's take a break from the situation. And then I want to go out and do something good that kind of like blows that energy off of me. So yes, I'm going to go walk my dog. And although I don't have any tension, I've loved being with you guys tonight, I do need to go walk my dog. So I love you guys. Thank you so much. I'm sorry to disappear so quickly, but I really appreciate you. He's going to be singing to us a lot unless I take him. So I must disappear for the moment. Bye, guys. Thank you again, everybody. So